Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Best Day Ever. I am your host, Jade Leah Burns, and to bring us the best story ever is Paul Urbanowicz,
Well,
who
yes, hi,
is
Jade.
from the Station Dinner Theater. How are you today?
I'm doing great. The sun is shining, it's a beautiful fall day. I can't complain.
I know, getting the last of fall while it's
I
here.
know, it
It's
goes
like
by
slipping
so
by.
fast. I know, and this is my favorite season.
Yeah. Well, we're also in like peak fall colors, fall foliage right now. So
Yes,
it's
yes.
beautiful.
Yes, it is. It is absolutely beautiful. And so take it up and soak it up as much as you can because it's not going to last. It's not going to last.
So we are here today to talk about
A Canterbury Feast.
what exactly is that?
Oh, A Canterbury Feast is phenomenal. It's a phenomenon. It's been around 44 years, started in 1981, and it is a medieval-style musical comedy dinner theater. And we pretty much put on there as a title that it's the longest-running medieval-style musical comedy dinner theater in the country, if not in the world, because we've been going for 44 years straight. And there's really nothing like it. It was developed by a good friend, Igor Stalsky, who was a professor at Mercyhurst College, now Mercyhurst University, and it's just a lot of fun, and we want people. It's the station. That's what the station's all about, anyway. We just want people to come in, have a good time, eat, have good food, and go home with a smile on their face.
Yeah, for those who may not know what the Station Dinner Theater is, tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, Station Dinner Theater. We've been the dinner theater's been around for quite a few years. Canterbury, obviously, is our oldest running show, and it was developed at Mercyhurst College. And then we went to Riverside, and we were doing it both at Cambridge Springs, Riverside Inn, for a number of years. We started back in 1990 at Riverside, and we were doing it at both Mercyhurst University and at Riverside through a number of years. It was probably 1990 and 1996. And then we just did it at the Riverside until from 96 until 2002. And then my wife and I, we took over the reins of Canterbury back in 1997. And we moved everything up to Erie, which is now at the former Station Dinner Theater on Peach Street. And we've been there since 2003. So we've been there probably half the years that we've been doing Canterbury.
It's like such a hidden gem. You would never know
It
on
is.
Peach Street. There's so many things there, and then like tucked away
Exactly.
by
Exactly.
It's like by that dentist's office, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like,
It's right by.
right behind there.
Yeah, it's right by Washington and Peach Street, Gore Road, and close to St. George's Church, right almost across the street from that. But it's tucked back a little bit. Has a train car on the side of it and everything. But it's a very, very intimate theater. We only seat about. Usually 90 to 100 people. But the furthest seat from the stage is only 35 feet. So it's very intimate. Our cast in every single show, no matter what the show is, we do a multitude of shows. We do comedies, we do murder mysteries, we do musical reviews. And we do our theme shows like Canterbury. But the performers not only perform, but they perform and serve your food in character. So you get a whole evening of entertainment, no matter if you're watching the show or you're eating and being pretty much entertained with the cast.
A fun, immersive experience.
Absolutely,
So.
absolutely, and it's non-threatening. We don't make fun of people or bring people on stage, and
Maybe you
some
should.
people would like to, I'm sure, but it's a non-threatening type of thing. And we have in certain shows we do have sing-alongs or drinking songs. songs. Canterbury, we have, 2 drinking songs that we do at the beginning and the end, and then we have a show within a show, and then every year that show changes. Canterbury, and we have one that spun off of that is Snake Eye Sam Saloon Showdown, which is our Wild West show. We do Dick Clarkson's Jukebox Hop, which is a 1950s show, and let me see what else. We have Christmas Memories, which we'll be doing. Obviously, we do that every single year, and this is our 35th year for Christmas Memories.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. 35 years for that. So we've been doing it for quite some time. We've got a good formula down. The food is phenomenal. It's
Chef's
really
kiss.
yes, and it's homemade, and it comes out. It's all in the timing, and it comes out hot, and it's very comfort food. For every show, it's different. The menu and everything is different for the shows.
Now you're co-directing the
Correct.
feast, correct?
Yes.
But you were also one of the original cast members?
Yes, I was in the first show back in 1981.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
I know. It kind of dates me on how old I am.
Tell me a little bit about that experience. What was it like to be like one of the originals?
It really was. It was fantastic. We had no idea what we were doing, at the time. Igor Salsky, who was the creator of Canterbury Feast, he researched it. That's how I got into dinner theater to begin with. The theater program at Mercyhurst dissolved back in I think it was right after 1976, 77, going into that year. But Igor was ahead of that department, but he kept it going. So even though there wasn't a major there, he kept the theater itself going, and there was a lot of shows being done every year at Mercyhurst in the little theater there. And we actually did a dinner theater class that was, at the time, it was not just strictly semester at that time. We had what we call an intercession between Thanksgiving and Christmas, where you got 3 credits, but you went every day for that class. And one of the classes was a dinner theater class.
That
and
is
you
so
put
fun.
on a full production in 3 weeks.
Oh my
the whole thing.
goodness.
That's what the class was. It was from when we got back from Thanksgiving break, and we would have that show would be done before Christmas, before we had Christmas break. But what happened was that. I'm kind of going off a tangent here.
No.
He started researching medieval shows, and there's like the Renaissance, a lot of different shows. So he went up to in Canada at Stratford, and he kind of researched different shows that were up in that area, and he came up with A Canterbury Feast. And we couldn't do Canterbury Tales. It's a little too bawdy and dirty for that. So he kind of toned it down a little bit, but he did Moliere shows and to start out with. And so he put this show together, and he said, hey, there was 4 of us that performed a lot during that time. And he came to us first, and he said, hey, listen, you guys interested in doing this? I said, yeah, why not? Let's try it. So he put us together with about maybe I'd say maybe another 9 people, and we did this epic medieval Canterbury Feast for the first time, and it was about a 3.5-hour show, just the show itself, not even including the food breaks and everything. So you're talking over 4 hours. And obviously we've cut it back a little bit since then, but we started maybe at 7 o'clock at night, and we weren't done until 11:30 at night. It was crazy. So, but it was wonderful experience. At first, he wanted to do it in a big circus tent on the campus, and it was a little bit too expensive to do that.
Sure.
So, and he only planned like 2 weekends. So he basically researched on the campus, and the old gymnasium, when it was an all-women's college, was underneath Old Main, and it was a perfect atmosphere. Actually, it was the best atmosphere over the 44 years we've ever had, because it was very castle-like, high ceilings, dark, and big stairwells in it and everything. And we did a number of shows, not only Canterbury, but we did a number of shows down there because it was so nice for the dinner theater. And the kitchen was close by, too, at Mercier's.
There you go.
Yes. So we developed it down there, and that was the very first Canterbury. We had a magic show. Bobby Borgia started there, and he was only in high school at that time. He and Sam Cohen had a whole section, and they did an elaborate a magic show for part of the show. We had a section on love and marriage, and and made fun of different things with that. But it was all done medieval style. So and there was other sections too. But it went on and on and on. But the audience loved it. He was only going to do it for 1 year, and after that, it just ignited, and he would run it throughout the summer, and we just kept adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. At one time, he would go on sale for Canterbury on New Year's Day. And a lot of the shows would sell out. This is now, mind you, the show doesn't even start until summer.
Yeah.
And the show would sell out in a matter of hours, a day.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole run. The whole run would sell out.
That's crazy.
So I know. It's just mind-boggling. And back in 2002, when I was still down at Riverside Inn, running the show down there, we had our highest attendance for Canterbury. We had over 9,000 that year.
Oh my goodness!
For Canterbury.
Wow.
So it's been going on for decades, and new generations are now experiencing it. And
now, did
having
you
a great
ever
time.
think, like 44 years ago, it would turn into something like this?
No idea. No idea. I know, and at times Igor was saying, I'm tired. I need to stop. But people kept saying, no, you can't do that. We got to keep doing that. So eventually, when he got to 1996, Igor and Marietta, his wife, finally said, okay, enough's enough. We're not doing it at Mercier's anymore. We're just doing it at Riverside. And they approached my wife and I, Regine and myself, and said, hey, listen, do you want to take it over? So we said, yeah, we'll take it over. So we've been operating it since 1997 and until now. So we had no idea, though, that it would become this phenomenon. Surprise! Yeah.
Now,
we try to get new people involved too.
Yeah.
So,
when you guys moved to Riverside,
yes.
What was your draw to that location?
Well, I was hired down there to develop the dinner theater aspect. They had been doing Mike and Marie Halliday, who owned the Riverside back then. They had been looking to try to develop a dinner theater because they had only been kind of dabbling in it. They would do a fall show, and it was up in their ballroom and everything too. And Mike especially wanted to really try to expand it. And I said, hey, I'm your guy. Let's try it. So they hired me, and we developed it. I was probably working out of the lobby when I first started there with no phone, and it was back in June of 1990, and developed, they had already opened for the season, and I developed a number of shows that we were going to do, and that was our first year there. So we developed it, and it just... I talked to Igor. I said, hey, let's try to bring Canterbury down there. Let's try to do it two places. He said, yeah, that might work. So we brought it down there, and it just exploded because we had a different audience. We were closer to Meadville, so we were picking up people from Meadville, but also it was a golf course next door. So they were already getting in people from Pittsburgh and Cleveland and Buffalo. So that just exploded. And when people started hearing about it and getting the information, every year it just built and built and built. And we started getting bus groups coming in. We were doing weekday shows, so it really was a phenomenon even down there. Yeah. And it kind of exploded into that market throughout the region, and we were not only picking up bus groups, we were picking up just individual groups and couples and things like that were just staying at the inn and having a great time. They were able to get overnight packages and and stay and take in a dinner theater, whatever dinner theater it may be.
Yeah, I was ready to say that. The Riverside was it's such a beautiful place to be in.
I know.
And like you said, the location was perfect.
It was.
Beautiful place, but
yeah. We miss it. It's such a shame that it burned down. So, but there's a wonderful facility down there now. I'm glad they're carrying on at least a tradition of the memory of Riverside down there. So that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice. But do miss those days.
Definitely.
It was really nice. But we're still plugging away and
then the big move to the station.
The
theater,
station, back in 2003, and it's still going strong there. We're about halfway through the run right now, and we have a lot of sold out houses, but also there's a lot of shows that are still not sold out. So we're still
this
we're
is
still
your
plugging
chance,
away.
people.
I know. Call in, even though it says sold out for some of the shows. There are still a lot of tables available and also seats available throughout the next month. We still go till November 22nd.
Oh my God!
I know.
That's a long time.
Jade, we used to do. We had 2 casts, and we still do that. But it's limited in number of performances now. We do 25 performances of Canterbury this year.
Okay.
We used to do over 50 performances.
Wow.
We had 2 casts. We were running at both Mercyhurst and Riverside at the time. So it probably split up to about 25 and 25 on each place. And then when we just moved to Riverside, we were still doing 2 casts, and we're picking up whatever slack was, missed from Mercyhurst. We're getting people from Erie still coming down to Riverside, and we're still doing, 50 plus shows down there. And that was the year back in 2002. We had over 9,000, as an attendance down there.
Now, with both of the casts, did they put on the same shows, or were they both unique?
They're still was the same show. Okay. So we rehearse together, and we do that even today. So if I have 2 different casts, some people obviously can't put in that time commitment, and that's understandable. I mean, we start in August for rehearsals, and then the first show starts in September, and the show I think this year we started on the 20th of September, and we run till November 22nd. So you're talking, 2 months as a commitment every weekend. There's no break. So, and we do Saturday, Sundays to start out with, but then we do Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays once we get into it. So we do have the option where, we do have 2 casts. Some of the characters are doubled, some of them are not. We have 9 performers this year, and only 3 of them are doubled. So everybody else is doing the straight run all the way through. But those people, when we do 2 casts, we rehearse at the same time. So it's almost like having double rehearsals all the time until we open. But we do the same show. They learn the same choreography. They learn the same staging, blocking, everything, and are off book before we depart with the second cast, and then bring them back for brush-ups, sometime before they start the second cast run.
See, if it were me, I would want to see both casts.
Oh, we have people coming back twice, sometimes 3 times, but they do. They come back and see what, because the characters still are the same characters, but the way they interpret it is different. So it's a new show, a lot of times it's a new show. And this year we're doing a version of the 3 Musketeers, and it's done, obviously. 3 Musketeers takes place in medieval France. So you can just imagine the different things that go on with this particular story. So it's a lot of fun. We have sword fighting and things like that too that happen, throughout the show.
That's so cool. I need to go see it.
I know. You got to come and be in it sometime,
If the station wasn't
I
taking all of my
know.
time,
I know.
you already know I
Well,
would be there.
We got to talk to the station. Yeah.
Spencer Lane and Bailey Brodigan, if you're watching right now, we need to have a talk with you.
Yes. We have to get Jade in Canterbury. She's got to have experience at least 1 year.
At least one
year. Yes.
Now, what are some challenges or maybe some differences from when you very first started and from today when you're putting it together?
Well, one of the things is the selling aspect of it. It's so different nowadays. There's so many different mediums out there to try to sell the show, and obviously we have a good mailing list. We have a good base to start with. But it's trying to reach new people because people don't go every single year. We like them to go every single year. But I would say, there's a percentage that will, they'll go this year and then they'll maybe skip a year and go another year. So we're always trying to find, new people. Yeah. And it's hard to find those mediums. We use a lot of the social media. We do things on Facebook, and we also do a lot of mailings and things like that. But it's been a big challenge because, as you well know, there are so many different mediums these days and people are getting hit left and right with different things and with the news and with everything that's going on, and we're just trying to we're trying to look for people that just want to forget about everything that's going on in the world and just come and have a good time, eat and laugh and leave with a smile on their face. That is probably one of the biggest challenges. Also, I would say trying to find new people to do the shows. We obviously have a lot of our veteran cast members come back, but we also try to look for new people to come back too. Yeah. And there's so much going on these days with, Erie, a lot of people don't realize how much talent is really in this area, and there's a lot of talent. But we've got more and more theaters popping up too that are taking away some of that talent too. And we all share, we all have our little niche and everything too, and we all support each other. But when you have a limited talent base, it can be difficult trying to find people to do the shows. Yeah. Especially when we do a lot of weekday matinees with some of our other shows, because we do comedies. We don't just do Canterbury every year. We do a lot of the other theme shows, and we do book shows from New York, comedies. We do murder mystery comedies, not your typical murder mysteries, but they're stage shows, but they're murder mystery comedies. But a lot of those, in order to draw bus groups and things like that, we do a lot of weekday shows at Wednesdays at noon. So it's hard to find people to, especially the younger people, to do those shows because a lot of people are working still, and also to try to find seniors to do some of those shows too. Because we have senior roles for some of those shows, as well as younger people doing that as well. So that is a big challenge too, is to try to find that. Some have taken, they have days off that they can take, and we try to do that. Our biggest months for weekday shows is May and June. June being the highest one, because we do a lot of, because the weather's nice, and we get a lot of buses during that time.
May, I'm surprised about.
Yeah, it's the end of May. It's not really. Yeah. It's going toward the end of May, getting closer to Memorial Day, and going into June. So usually in that particular show, we start the end of May and go throughout the month of June. So most of our shows are 8 to 10 performances. And Canterbury obviously is the highest number of productions that we do, which is around 25.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I need to do it. I need to do it. I need to do
You
it.
do. You do need to do it. I'm putting a bug in your ear right now.
I know. So. Well, because you're here, and then, like John said a couple weeks ago, I had Zach Vlog here.
Yeah.
And I've just been doing a lot of theater things, and I'm like,
I
need to get back
into it again.
The bug is in my ear.
I know. I know. You can't. It's just like riding a bicycle. You get back into it. You know what to do.
Yeah.
So
And then you can't stop though.
I know.
So.
I know. It does. It's a big time commitment.
Yeah.
It's a huge time commitment. But again, we try to. I know during our rehearsals and everything too. We're very attuned to people's time. So if you're not in a scene, or if you're not doing that, you're off for the night. Or if you do if we're doing a certain rehearsal and you're only in it for part of it, we'll do that first, and then you can leave. So we're trying to make sure that we, time management and everything too. We try to keep that as much as possible. But it's still a big time commitment, because then once you do that rehearsal process, which rehearsal process is fun, but it can be annoying too, because you have to go through it in order to get to the final to final thing. So you got to get off book, and you got to learn everything, and that can be time consuming doing it. Well, once you get into the production aspect of it and you're doing the shows, then you just have the performances to worry about. So it makes it a little bit easier, but it's still a big time commitment.
Yeah, definitely. Well, to make sure all this time is put to good use.
Yes.
We still have almost a month to see it still.
Yeah,
month-ish.
we still have a month.
You had sent me a testimony that I'm going to read.
Oh, yes, from
Let's see.
one of your alums there.
Yes, Cindy Patton.
Yeah.
She's now the media specialist for St. Vincent.
I believe so.
I did not know that.
No, is she still in town, or is she in Pittsburgh? Or she come back?
I don't know.
I don't know. I lost
honest.
track of her, because I know she had left for a while.
Yes,
and,
she was here.
Yes, she was here. Yeah. She was. I guarantee she was here. Yeah.
But
Cindy's one of our
she
biggest
said,
fans.
I've seen A Canterbury Feast many, many times over the years, starting at Mercier's College to the Riverside Inn, and now the Erie Station Dinner Theater. This latest performance at the station was written by Canterbury Feast veteran David Durst.
Yes.
I have to say, and my table of 11 agreed, this was one of the best we have seen. It was absolutely funny, with a great mixture of current events intertwined into the medieval storyline. If you're looking for something to do, if you haven't been to A Canterbury Feast for a while, do yourself a favor and go. It was a funny evening.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
she was one of our biggest fans. That was back in around 2015, I think, when Cindy was here. But she would come every year and would enjoy it, and I know she wanted to come back again once she left. So hopefully we'll see her again sometime.
Yeah, and you're keeping the streak alive this year with the fun experience.
Exactly.
And we have some clips from that we can show. Let's see. Well, what do we have first, Mr. John Boland?
This is Molly Parks and Seamus.
Yes.
And this is he's playing D'Artagnan, the wannabe musketeer, and then she's the love interest.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was one of the scenes that they had.
And that perfect modern spin with Love is an Open Door from Frozen. So,
yeah, absolutely. And as you can see, we use a lot of drops. We have different track system at the station now, so we use a lot of drops to depict, especially when we have a lot of scene changes and everything too.
Which I'm sure is also a little easier.
Oh, yeah, a ton easier. Yeah, we have a 10-foot track system. We have an 8-foot, and that's upstage. And then on the two sides, we have 8-foot drop systems that will interchange that we can use for different scenes.
Cool.
And so there's about probably 18 different changes in this particular show. So we utilize it because the stage is relatively, it's not as big as like the Playhouse stage or anything. It's a lot smaller and more intimate. So that space is utilized a lot more
Yeah.
efficiently.
Cool.
So, especially when we have sword fight scenes in this particular show. So there's there's about, I think there's 6 men on the stage that are sword fighting during this particular time. It's the Cardinal's Guard
Yeah.
against the Musketeers, and we need as much room as we can possibly get without
Definitely.
anybody getting hurt. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Cool.
it's fun to be creative with these particular shows. I know we did in the early years, the shows started to get too rowdy, so Igor started to implement different ideas for shows, and we went to a Gilbert and Sullivan format.
Okay.
And we would medievalize the Gilbert and Sullivan shows. So
Yeah.
we did Pirates of Penzance, Mikado, HMS Pinafore. So we did a majority of the Gilbert and Sullivan shows. They were medievalized, and the audiences loved them, even
Yeah.
though they were all mostly sung and they were operatic type of shows. They were funny, and
Yeah.
they fit to what Canterbury was about in the medieval style of it. And like I said, we utilized that for a number of years, and then we started going into creating different shows. David Durst did a lot of shows back between 2010, I think, and 2000, up to our 40th anniversary, and that was special because it was reaching a different crowd for that particular thing. And now we're going to leaning a different way and having more medieval stories that have been that we can utilize, like the Three Musketeers, and put in modern music, but still have a good time with it and keep it medievalized. So
That is so cool.
It is. It's
Yeah.
and the performers enjoy it and have a blast doing it as well too. And the part, which is a lot of people don't realize, that the performance on stage is one thing, but the other 50% of the performance is in the audience, when they're serving and when they're interacting with the audience and everything too. And audiences come to want to do that. So, like I said, we build in drinking songs. So we have a drinking song at the beginning when we first introduce the cast, and then we have a drinking song at the end of the show and everything too. But the audience looks forward to doing that, and they don't feel threatened. I mean, if you want to participate, you can. If you don't, you don't. We don't force anybody to do that. So, but majority of the people, enjoy that aspect of the show. And like I said, 50% of it is out in the audience.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have to experience it. I will.
Yes,
I will.
You will. You will.
Well, we're almost running out of time, but I ask one question of all of my guests that come
Yes.
in, which is, why do you think that Erie is the best city ever? This could be a memory, a vibe, a place.
I think Erie is the best city ever to raise a family. You don't have many cities where you have so much going on. I know a lot of people say, no, there's nothing to do in Erie. There is a ton of stuff to do.
Yeah.
You got to look for it. And I think that part of it is so warming for people to be involved in, and not just theater, but I mean anything. So I would say, to raise a family is, I think, one of the best places, in the United States.
And I mean, sometimes it, like you said, you have to look for it, but sometimes it just falls in your lap
It
wherever
does.
you go.
It does.
And especially on the art sides, there's so many different things to do.
Whether
So,
the art museum or, you know, theatrical arts
Yeah.
or dance or, you know, you name it. And there's a lot of places, you know, in this area. Plus our beautiful, you know, setting, you know,
Yeah.
the bayfront, you know, Presque Isle. There's just so much in this area. And we're centered close to we have a city, but it's not too big to get through it. I mean, you can go one
Perfect
side of the
size.
city to the other,
Yeah.
you know, in 20 minutes or so. But we're in like right smack in the middle of the tri-state area. So you've got Buffalo close by, you've got Pittsburgh, you've got Cleveland.
yeah.
But we can still enjoy our city right here.
Well,
Yeah.
I agree.
Good. I'm glad you do.
Thank you so much for joining me
Well,
today.
thank you for asking me, and it was a pleasure being here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And you guys still have until November
22nd.
22nd, and
Yep.
you can go to what website?
CanterburyFeast.com. It's an easy one.
There
So,
you go.
Yeah.
Get your
please.
tickets now before they sell
Please.
out, because obviously they're going to.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Probably about
So,
from now until the end. Right now, half of those available dates are sold out. So there's still plenty though. So
Yeah.
you've got you know plenty to pick from.
Gotta act fast.
And a variety. You know, there's not only it's a hit and miss on whether it's Saturday, Sunday, or Friday that are sold out. I mean, mainly Fridays are available, but we still have Saturday and Sundays that are still available too.
Yeah.
So and there's I know a lot of people like getting groups together. You don't have to come in a group, but they get a table together because Canterbury kind of promotes that. You just want to
Yeah.
have everybody together and having a good time. So, but you definitely don't have to do that. It's it's a time that you know people can still enjoy even as a couple too.
Absolutely.
Good date night too.
Good date night.
Yeah.
There you
Eat
go.
with your hands, you know.
All right. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Jade.
And
Thank
until the next time,
Yes.
we hope that you have the best day ever.